Yeah, well, we played at Wireless in 2012, I think, and it was in Hyde Park then, but it was a great show. And it was sort of right in the midst of just full album touring, so I think we were doing pretty much every festival in the country that year. And Wireless definitely stood out because it's one of the only London sort of festivals. So, and we're from London, so it's great to play our hometown. Oh God, I literally have no idea. I just wouldn't want to be stuck in a lift. I think if I was stuck in a lift on my own, it would make it a lot easier. So I think if I was stuck with someone else, it'd become a really awkward situation. So I'm gonna buck a trend here and say just no one. I'm just gonna be miserable and say on my own, basically. Yeah, well, it's like, you know, it's always like extra special playing in your hometown. Because when we did the Brixton Academy show when we were doing our last UK tour, we'd been to Brixton Academy since we were like kids, you know, going to see shows there. So there was something very special, and it's not the biggest venue in London, but it's just home, you know, and it's special. And playing, like, you know, both Wireless play Hyde Park and here, it's got that same feeling, you know. It's like we're on our doorstep, and it's our home crowd as well, you know.
It's a Level 42 album, a cassette tape. I don't know what it was called, and I
bought a Placebo album when I was young. Actually, it might have been their first album, or maybe it was the second. Every Me, Every You, I think was the second. That's sort of one of the early ones I remember buying. I think when I first ever got a CD player, though, I didn't buy it, but I got given Now Dance the Best of '94, which had some absolute classics on it.
I don't think I bought it for myself, but I remember the first album being Bad, Michael Jackson. I was obsessed with him.
I remember like the first actual cassette tape or any music for my own I got given must have been like late 80s. I was probably 4 years old or something, and my auntie had made me a Beatles compilation on cassette tape, and that was pretty much sort of all I listened to for probably the next 2 or 3 years. So the Beatles is my earliest memory in growing up, you know, childhood sort of obsession, basically.
We're going to be playing some new material from the album, including the new single, Two Minds. Don't know if we mentioned that. And actually, it's the first time we're going to play that live in a live festival set, or in a set at all. So yeah, really excited to go and play that out. And there's probably about 5 or 6 other tracks from the album as well. So yeah, really excited. There was a guy at a recent show in Germany he'd come in fancy dress as a shower. He had like a full shower outfit with a curtain round, and then a thing on his head, and then a little rubber duck. Yeah. And he was in a bath
sort of thing.
Yeah.
I
think that probably wins it.
Nice. Someone backstage at a festival was dressed in a penguin suit and said they were us, wasn't it? And then
they got interviewed.
Yeah. And then they did a lot of press dressed in a penguin suit, saying they were one of the members of Nero. So there were all these interviews got out of this just guy in a penguin suit. Just, you know, yeah. They were quite good at it. They probably did a better job at interviews than we did.